Hi, and welcome to the City Sculptors Podcast. I'm your host, Alexis Williams. I am also the Director of Operations for 12th Street Heritage Development Corporation, but for the past 4 years, I have been immersed in the real estate and development world. That journey led me to this podcast, the City Sculptors. Here, we take a look behind the curtain and we talk to business owners, city leaders, construction workers, realtors, and developers, and we see what does this world really look like and how a city is shaped. So if you've ever wondered what she does seems kind of fun, or hey, I want to make a difference in my community and be a city leader, listen and subscribe and hit like, because here, me, you, and anybody listening can be a city sculptor. Hi, and welcome back to the City Sculptors. I am your host, Alexis Williams, and today we are joined with Shelle West, who is the founder of Show Me You Care KC. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Always. Okay, so we're going to hop right in with founding and vision. And so I want to know what inspired you to start Show Me You Care KC, and how did this vision turn into something it is today in 2025?
In 2019, my little brother was murdered in September. And that started with a turkey drive. And he said, I want to give back. I want to give back. So, of course, I planned a turkey drive without him, but I did it in honor of him.
Okay.
And that spread from us collecting turkeys from as far as 18th Street to Raymore.
That's a long stretch.
Yeah, and it was just amazing because family, friends, community partners opened up their houses, their organizations. We had turkeys everywhere. And it was just great because I was able to fulfill his dream.
So you didn't stop there. What made you say, like, okay, my brother said, let's do a turkey drive? Obviously, that went well beyond what you thought. What made you say, I think I can do more than just this?
It started from a hashtag. When we were collecting turkeys, I know many people collect turkeys throughout the holiday seasons to pass out and distribute. Our hashtag was Show Me You Care. So then with it being on both Kansas cities, Missouri and Kansas, it started Show Me You Care KC to bring everybody in as a collective. And then, I don't know, this light bulb just came on. It was like, okay, now I want a nonprofit. Let's keep this organization going. After that turkey drive, we started collecting toys, and it was just nothing planned, out of sight, out of mind. And it's just like this light bulb, just do for the community, just give. And it's like coming from a single parent home, single mom, and just see her hustle and just get out there and make sure we had shelter, lights, water, gas, and just to be able to be on a different side of the spectrum and give back to the community and bless families. It was just beyond amazing.
I love that. When you look back on your early effort, well, your first one was a major success, so I don't know. But when you look back on your early efforts, what was the moment you realized that Show Me You Care KC was becoming something more than you imagined?
When my phone kept ringing and people said, what do you got next? I said, well, nothing.
That was it.
I was like, that's it. So now we are on our 5th year of feeding families, which turned into not only collecting turkeys, because we have to think about it. Some people don't have lights, water, and gas. They need a hot meal. So that turned into us doing community dinners.
Okay. How do you define care? So when you say Show Me You Care, what is your type of care when you say that in the context of community service or money or cooking, or like, how do you define care?
So I love the quote from Muhammad Ali, service is your rent, you pay for your room here on earth. And I live by that. It's just as simple as we see people on the corner with signs, they may just need some extra money. You know, you come across the people that are very transparent. Hey, I just need a cold beer. And sometimes, you know, you can make a day by giving them $2 or $3 just to go get that cold beer. They might have had a long day. Even more so, just with the whole care side of things, I was out in -2-degree weather feeding the unhoused community, and which I labeled them as my homies. I get out, I talk to them, I try to figure out their story, how they got there, how can I help them. And day to day, I'll go back to find their encampments and check on them.
You define them as your homies. So what A lot of people wouldn't do that. I do see that on Instagram a lot when you are posting that you are outside. I'm like, oh, I'm rubbing my feet together. Like, tell me what you need from here, because not everybody can do that though. So what made you say, I can do that? It's not everybody's gift, I will say. People help however they can, but actually, like, going to, I don't know how many of you guys have been to a homeless camp before. We do abatement and cleanup, and sometimes they're very aggressive. So you're not scared?
No.
You just hop out your car.
You got to know how to approach them.
Okay, so give us some example. Like, when you see people, how should you?
We communicate. We say outreach. We know a lot of them by name. A lot of them know us by name. Even just being like around the 18th and Vine area, they know, hey, we started keeping a box of cigarettes in the car. Hey, you got a cigarette? Because what's the point of you picking up a smoked cigarette off the street and we can give you a cigarette if that's just all you need? If you need some socks, I keep packs of socks in my trunk now.
So you don't care what it's cigarettes, socks, food.
Whatever
I love
you need.
that. You're just going to be a provider. So as we talk about homelessness and other things, I've seen you do proms and all of those things. What would you say is the biggest challenge that you faced in Kansas City?
In Kansas City, it's not always having the resources, or a lot of people are afraid to provide resources because sometimes we look at dollars over give back, or we look at this dress or this suit has to pay my light bill, and not knowing that you can bless somebody else by just providing a service, and word of mouth goes a long way.
Yeah. So you've won awards such as the Best Community Organization, Women Making Waves in the Community. What do those recognitions mean to you personally and professionally?
Personally, they mean a lot. I'm not a person that is big on accolades because I like to sit in the background, but just to be honored and recognized, it shows that people are supporting, people are voting, people are recognizing. So it's showing me that somebody cares about me.
Yeah, and we do. So what advice would you give to someone? I know your story started from an unfortunate event. However, what would you give to somebody, especially a young woman, with advice who wants to start maybe a community initiative?
If it's your purpose and if you're passionate about it, do it.
Simple. Okay. Can you share one story from your programs that really touched your heart or reminded you why you do this work?
One of my favorite times is we had a young lady to submit for prom. It was her senior year. She had just lost her grandmother. I think 2 weeks later, her aunt passed, so they were back and forth. GPA is 4.3, mom single. And just because their family lived all over and they were trying to bury every loved one in the 2-week time span, going from Atlanta to Alabama, and her just not knowing if she's going to be able to pay for prom. And then even in her story that she submitted, she said, well, my dream was always to have a princess prom my senior year. And when I got with my 5-year-long seamstress, she bedazzled this dress for, I think she said, 42 hours.
Oh, Lord. I bedazzled a jersey before, and I know how tedious just the numbers are. So,
and it was just the full dress. It was amazing. And not only from there, her stepdad jumped in because he's a professional photographer and said, no, we're going to capture this moment. And from start to finish, everything was immaculate. Her mom didn't have to worry about anything. And just to take that burden off of them while they were going through burying their loved ones, it was just great that we could step in and do that.
I love that. So how many years have you been doing proms?
Prom, we are on our 4th year.
4th year. And what made you want to start doing proms?
These kids are expensive.
Oh, listen, I got a dog, and I be confused. I'm like, and people got kids? I be thinking that every day.
Feed them, water them, they grow.
Yeah, so, but it's amazing, though. I've always seen, we went to your gala, that was this past weekend, but we went to your gala, and you have so many connections, and you have so many people who want to help. And so how do you find these people? We always talk about on this podcast, you need to build relationships, you need to have connections. How did you find so many different people in different areas that kind of specialize in everything that you need?
Relationships are important, and it's nothing but God that He aligns me with people of the community that are for the community. Everybody that I've encountered, they are cheerful givers, and they just do it.
Because you do the turkey. I know you guys cook the food too, you said. So you have somebody that does that. You have somebody that'll sew the prom dresses and everything. And how many have you guys done? How many girls have you guys done a year? Or the most that you've done?
One year we saved prom for a lot of kids.
I remember this. Facebook.
We saved about 20 young ladies going to prom because it's just one of those things. Don't take on more than you can chew.
Yeah.
But we built rapport with managers at Macy's. Several other seamstresses jumped in. There was a store over on the Wyandotte side. She said, I have dresses for days. Come and get what you need. Just give me a tax donation letter, whatever it takes. I want to help. So from there, we had girls on Missouri and Kansas going to different stores, get a dress. We'll cash out. We'll meet you. We'll figure it out. And that was our biggest year. I think that year our seamstresses sold for 142 hours.
That's crazy. And when this happened, because I feel like this almost could have made CNN at this point, how it was just popping up everywhere. It was very last minute that these girls didn't know that they like had no dress, had no anything. So how did they even notify you? How did it even come across like, I'm jumping in, let me figure out who it is. Everybody come here.
Good old Facebook. We were in prom season, and a lot of orders had started when they found out Beyonce was coming. So a lot of the Beyonce concert orders were done before the prom dresses.
Mm-hmm. And then you just said, I can do something.
I put my cape on.
Yeah. I love that. But that it's good because it was very chaotic, and bring back Macy's, by the way. But Macy's saved me. Even when I was younger, Macy's and Dillard's, you can always find a dress and it doesn't matter the size. So that's
or
good.
Color.
And I love that you're seamstress because nothing ever fits how it's supposed to. So having a seamstress on deck is always really good. So
Fashion Nova became our friend too.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
She said, and I didn't understand this because I don't sew. She said, buy the body of the dress. We'll figure it out. She tucked, tailored, caped, and everything.
Superheroes. So we need to get you a backdated award for that, because that's a lot of girls to save prom. Prom is so memorable and a once in a lifetime. I know so many people who didn't get to go, and that's something that, you saved it because that was a really bad emotional moment. So Kansas City has so many unique neighborhoods. How do you decide which one to focus on? So you said you do Missouri and Kansas. Are there certain neighborhoods to go to?
No, I like all districts.
You just, how do you know where to go? You just drive up and down?
Drive down the street.
And you're like, okay, this looks like a place that could use me. Okay.
Or somebody will call me.
Networking, y'all. We're talking about networking and relationships. It keeps coming up in every single podcast. So, and I love that you do Missouri and Kansas. Like, you don't discriminate, because we do.
It's
get
the
a lot
home of the Kansas City, Missouri Chiefs.
Okay, now.
But we like Kansas.
Yes, we do. I love Kansas. I love both sides, but most people will only serve on there, especially organizations. I will say it's usually harder for organizations to serve on both sides. But you don't seem to have a...
No, you got to have friends everywhere.
Yeah.
We tap into St. Louis every now and then.
Period. Okay.
They need help. Everybody needs help.
Yeah, everybody needs help. But most people are like, well, that's not my problem. Like, if I don't live there, like in the vicinity, it's usually not my problem.
Oh, no. Somebody called me about a water pump going out in St. Louis. I said, don't worry. I know somebody that can fix that in St. Louis.
Love that. So, yes. How do you build and sustain these partnerships, though?
People have to understand you don't have to take these people home.
Okay.
You can love them.
Love them,
you
leave
can hang
them.
up on them.
Yeah. Well, it seems that, though, most people say yes to you. You're not afraid to ask. But at some point, I feel like maybe sometimes people get burnt out. But with you, it's like everybody always says yes. So how do you?
I give them something fun to do.
Oh, it's fun. Period. Okay. It is fun. Making an impact in your community is fun. So we go with that. Which one of your events have been your favorite so far? I've been to a couple of your events.
The basketball game.
The basketball game?
Yeah.
And what made you come up with that?
They never let me play.
Can you play,
No.
Shelle? Okay. Now,
I tried.
I have no coordination. Sports was not. I have an older sister. That was definitely her thing. I am not coordinated. But how did you come up with this concept of the basketball game? You have a really huge turnout every year for that.
With the basketball game, working with local artists in the city, I've traveled to a few outside celebrity games, and I noticed that when it's done here, it's done by older generations, so it doesn't draw the impact of the younger kids in the community. So when I started Show Me You Ball, I started collaborating with their favorite entertainers in the city that are right here, like Sleazy D-Walk and other people that we can tap into, content creators. And once we started that, we started at the CBE, which was one of our biggest years.
It was nowhere to walk. It was
Nowhere to sit.
Yeah, nowhere. Well, I had a seat. I don't know about the rest of the people. I was front row child, but
yeah, even with that, just the impact and just obtaining like Bobby, who's now on Wild 'N Out, just bringing him back in, and he's like, oh my God, you really been doing this in the city. And for him to play this year because he wasn't recording anywhere, he's like, okay, next year, what can we do? How can I help you? No, we got to make this bigger. We got to keep growing it. So just for them to be able to be kids in their adult life and have so much fun, we don't always get that because we're working all the time. So just, it's a release for everybody. And of course it's fun for the kids because they like, oh, he's falling. He missed it. It's a brick.
And I love that because I've seen the kids get like more and more engaged over the years, but it's also a good reminder for kids, like even if like, oh, this team is losing, or if there's, a conflict, it's not a serious conflict. And I think that's what our kids like need. Like, you can walk away, have a lighthearted joke. And I love that they do that. I love the basketball game. That's probably one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah. We did old school versus new school last year, and the kids beat them 17-2.
Oh, yes. What was it? A blowout? Is that what the kids call it? It was, yes. But it's always entertaining. So I love that you're also teaching the kids how to be good sports, because that is a very hard thing nowadays to walk away with your head high. So that's a good one.
And it also teaches them to control their anger. And then, the privilege of it is like having partnerships with people that play with the Harlem Globetrotters and able to bring them back into the city off tour. That's amazing too.
Yeah. Oh, I love the Harlem. I love him. So what's something, now all of these events I've gone to, but what's something that happens behind the scenes that most people don't understand, like putting together these big events, like they don't understand what goes into it?
The planning, the hard work, the sleepless nights.
How long would you say it takes you to plan your events?
We strategically plan in a year to 6 months.
Okay.
It just depends. This year we encountered a lot of sickness, a lot of death, so it kind of pulled our team apart. So it caused others of us to step up and do triple the work. But even with that, we all still had each other's back. If we had to do something remote, it all still worked. Okay,
that's good. So with these events, how do you keep your volunteers and sponsors engaged year after year? How do you make sure that they're like, okay, I'm going to be back next year. I'm going to make sure I sponsor this event again. How do you keep that going with them?
We give the people what they need. Everybody just has fun, and just more so, I haven't encountered any bad relationships with people. It's more so keep my relationships and just staying constant with people. If you do something, I'll come and volunteer. If I can help you in any capacity, I'm going to show up just like you show up for me. Yeah. And I think where people lack at is reciprocation. They think, oh, just because you write me a check, I don't have to support you, but it goes both ways.
Yeah. So reciprocate out there. You've worked on political campaigns, community outreach, and nonprofit leadership. How would you say those experiences shaped you into the leader you are today? Because you are an amazing one.
Thank you. My leadership really took off when Barack Obama ran for president.
First or second time?
The first time.
Really? Okay.
I was the head organizer here in Kansas City for his grassroots campaign. So I was managing a building at the age of 18, didn't know what I was doing. I was passing out different cell phones. This is our call list. And I was working alongside a lady from North Carolina that knew nothing about Kansas City. So it was entertaining because I had to show her the Gates barbecue, the this is where you eat, this is where you go.
The tour, the famous tour.
Yeah, and she was like, oh my God, the city has so much to offer. But just coming out of high school doing that, it broadened my horizons to know what's in the city, how we can help the city. So it really started back then.
Okay. That's a very interesting start to have. And you had to have a lot of confidence at 18 to do something like that. I would have been shaking
signed
in
up
my
as a
boots.
volunteer, but then I got promoted like in 24 hours.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. That's God ordained, but that's usually how it goes. That's happened to me
Yeah, I was
before
like,
too.
my call list is done, and I was just running them back. She said, oh no, we need to move you over here. You can delegate.
Yeah.
I was like, we're just making calls, making sure people get to the polls.
Yeah, we love a good delegation, but I love that like shaped you and gave you kind of the grounding to be like, I can do this.
And
I know
even-
my city.
Even in high school, I was my class president. So I was like,
Okay,
oh.
so you've been in charge. You've been in charge. So it had nothing to do with the previous jobs. It was just who you are as a person.
I was like, oh, maybe I'm just meant to tell people what to do.
Love that. I feel like I am. So I love that for you. Have you had any role models or mentors that have actually like really stood out to you? You've had a lot.
Everybody I encounter in
Yes.
the city.
Is there one particular one? Let me rephrase
You're
that.
one
Oh,
in the city.
okay.
My grandmother,
Yes.
she always instilled foundation. My great-grandmother, she was an Eastern Star, head of the Women's Bible Club, Sunday school. So just even with her leadership and never understanding why we were waiting on this yellow envelope of daily breads, but she was the one that got everything together. And she's like, I got my checklist, I got this. So from there, I watched her and it was like, it was routine. It was a foundation. And then her daughter, operations and finance, I'm like, okay, I got a bunch of good women in my family.
Yeah.
So just watching them lead and lead by example, I never went astray. I was always like mimicking them. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be this person. I used to go to work with my grandmother at the credit union and just sit in her office. Like, what you doing today? Opening a new account?
Yeah.
So she was like, you're a little tape recorder. I am. I'm learning.
I love that though, because a lot of young people, even though they may have good influences around them, they go the opposite way. And then it always circles back around, but it's like I have to find my own journey. And it sounds like you knew who you wanted to be from a young age, but you have no issue, taking on the advice from older people.
I went astray a little bit, but it's just like we go through processes. We go through the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And it's like, okay, I did this, but this wasn't right. I got a speeding ticket. This wasn't right. And then it's like, okay, I should have just did this the right way the first time. And you will have full circle times in life.
Yeah. I've had a few myself. When you think about a legacy and the word legacy, and when you think about Show Me You Care KC, what type of legacy would you hope that this organization leaves?
I wanted to leave an impactful legacy. I want people to know that it's okay to give. It's okay to do. It's okay to love people. It's okay to step out on faith, even if you don't have it. I read a lot of stories where people are like, I just moved with my car, no clothes, no way. But you stepped out on faith for a reason, and in 30 days you can turn that around. Just with our city, we don't have to be a melting pot. We don't have to be the crabs in a bucket. We can work together.
Yes, and that's always a really good mentality. And I think that you do that very, very well. You are somebody that does not care about outside opinions of people. You try to get to know people for yourself still. I've always seen you support other organizations, and it's not like if only I thrive, y'all need to like be beneath me. Only my light can shine. So that is a very good trait and characteristic that you have about yourself. So we appreciate it. I have a couple more questions. Our final one is, and then we're going to go to rapid fire. So our final one is, this is the City Sculptors Podcast. And so we ask everybody if you could tell the audience how they could be city sculptors.
Just believe in yourself and just do it.
Just do
like
it.
Nike.
Period. Can we say that? Let me ask our marketing team. Okay.
Is it safe?
I know. She gave us a thumbs up, y'all. So, rapid fire. If you could instantly solve one community issue, what would it be?
Resources for kids.
Okay. That's a good one. What's one skill every community leader should have?
Being personable in the community.
If Show Me You Care KC were a person, what kind of personality would it have?
Oh, that's a good one. It would be fun, energetic, outgoing.
Okay. An outgoing type. What emoji best describes your vibe?
The peace emoji.
Okay. And finish this sentence. Kansas City means.
Everything.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first. I want to thank you for coming on this podcast and just inspiring the community. Anybody can get involved in the community. There's no, you need to go to school, have a degree, have this and that. You're just simply getting out there. You're driving through neighborhoods and you're giving back to our community on Facebook, everywhere. Very simple things that we do every day, and we don't think that we make a difference. So thank you for the difference that you make and your organization makes. And thank you for joining the City Sculptors Podcast, and we will see you next time.